Now, British businesses should give work to unemployed young Britons rather than relying on foreign workers. That's the message from the Work and Pensions Secretary Iain Duncan Smith. Speaking in Spain, he said there was a risk that British people wouldn't benefit from the economic recovery if firms were seeking staff from elsewhere. But business leaders have insisted it's up to them who to employ, and some say foreigners are more hard-working and cheaper. Here's our political correspondent, Kathy Newman.
Stephen Joinson is the kind of plumber the government wants. Well-trained, hard-working and British. But he's found it hard to get jobs because he says employers can save money by bringing in cheaper labour from overseas.
Well, the climate at the moment is very tough and has been for the last few years, and I've found that the customers that we work for are constantly looking for cheaper prices, and there is a lot of competition from Europe, Eastern Europe, in the trades especially.
That's something the Work and Pensions Secretary wants to change. In a speech in Madrid, Iain Duncan Smith warned that unless businesses hired more British workers, the country risked losing a generation of young people to welfare dependency.
Business also has an obligation as well. They need to play their part and really give them a chance, and not just fall back at labour from abroad, but to really try and see whether or not labour at home is worth that shot and that effort.
Sounds familiar? Here's Gordon Brown 4 years ago.
I want to ensure that the jobs available in Britain are available for British workers who are looking for jobs.
That came back to haunt the former Prime Minister, as 80% of the jobs created under Labour went to migrants. At the time, Gordon Brown's pledge was described as meaningless, illegal and even racist. And here's why. Employers can't favour the Brits for jobs over other Europeans because all EU citizens have a legal right to come and work here. And if immigrants from beyond the EU have the right paperwork, bosses denying them a job would be breaching equalities law. Employers raised all these concerns and more today. This London firm employs 150 plumbers, but 10% are from Australia, New Zealand or South Africa. The boss of Pimlico Plumbers is frank about the attractions of hiring from overseas.
The reason that we're not actually employing more British workers at the moment is because, the training isn't set up for them, There's no facility there for them to be trained no longer. And second option is we have to look abroad for them. You're finding that they're fully trained and they're certainly more keener to come to work. They don't want to sit on their backsides.
That's a view widely shared by employers.
Many young people lack the skills for the modern world of work. Certainly not writing off all young people, some hugely able ones, but there are a huge tranche of young people who appear to be unable to read, write, have a work ethic and have the ability to communicate, and that's why businesses are employing many Eastern European workers.
Stephen Joinson fears some of his younger compatriots are unwilling to do the hard graft. And those that are willing find fewer businesses offering the training he had.